Hello, folks. All right. What is the official conservative position on immigration? You hear the left says that, oh, if the conservatives say that we should have any kind of rules or laws on immigration, that we are terrible racists. Well, let me tell you who the racists are. They're the leftists. And that is because the left, they basically just want people from one area to take all the immigration places. In America, they want people in South America to take all the spots. In Europe, they want the Middle East to take all the spots. So that in itself is racist because they are ignoring all the other countries, all the other races. I think all the other countries and all the other races should have the opportunity to have their people apply for immigration. I think it should be fair. I think it should be diverse. All the immigrants in America should not be from South America, and all the immigrants in Europe should not be from Africa or the Middle East. There should be a balance. There should be diversity, leftists. A diverse amount of immigrants from different places. You see? Then you're not racist, leftists. But the left, like I said, they serve themselves, and that's why they're hypocrites. That's why they're nuts. Anyway, so the conservative position is, well, I'll just take America's immigration system. The system is about 1 million per year. That is the legal limit in America. And I think that's fair, which most conservatives do. They think that's fair. I'd say this is probably the mainstream conservative position. I mean, look at our population in America, about 300 million. So 1 million immigrants a year is not unreasonable. And like I said, it would be fair if there should be so many. We should be fair and say, you know, a certain amount of immigrants should be from each continent. We'll be fair and say that. Not all from one continent. Because that is the real racism. So that's fair. Now the left would say, oh, we need more immigrants. Well, I mean, I suppose you might be able to raise the 1 million limit a little bit, because it's still a pretty, it's still kind of low. It's still like less than 1%. So that's fair. We have room to have, we could possibly take a little more than 1 million as the legal limit per year. That's reasonable. But now, here's where you get to the unfair part. Look at Europe. A lot of these countries only have, some of them have 20 million, some of them have 30 million. Some of the little ones only have 2 or 3 million. Now, countries like that cannot stand 1 million migrants a year. It needs to be proportioned. Each country has to decide, based on the proportion of their population, how many they can take, and what is fair. And of course, it's up to each individual country whether they want immigration or not. As Dr. Steve Turley says on his channel, he says that African Americans want immigration stopped completely. About 50% of them. Well, definitely I understand how they feel. Everybody is free to have their opinions. But will you hear the left call the African Americans racist for wanting to end immigration? Are you going to hear that? I doubt it. So here's the thing. The conservatives are for legal immigration, and they're for the limits, the numbers of immigrants, to be proportional to what the country can take, the size of the country. And that's only fair. It needs to be proportional, it needs to be legal, it needs to be sensible. It doesn't need to be insane. Liberals have fake compassion. Their whole point is they want to put down their opponents, and they think the immigrants will always vote for them, so that's why they want them. But the leftists have certainly shown that they do not want Christian immigrants from the Middle East, and I'll bet they don't really want white Europeans, fleeing the anti-free speech laws either. We'll definitely know that. But so conservatives are not against immigration. No. And I mean, of course, things were different, 100, even 200 years ago. But currently, the mainstream conservative position is legal immigration is fine. And I mean, yes, we do need to fix our system, because things shouldn't take as long as they do. I think I mean, that's the court system. We need to think of some ways to reduce some of the time to let the legal immigrants in a little faster. I mean, obviously 10, 12 years is ridiculous. I would say maybe 3 to 5 would be more reasonable for the whole application process. And look at other countries. What are other countries doing? What are their immigration policies? I mean, I wouldn't expect any benefits if I went to another country, and I definitely expect to behave myself. And things are probably more expensive in other countries. So we need to be fair. But the left is not fair, and the left is not sensible. The left wants to burn down civilization. They want to burn it down, and they just don't think it will happen to them. And that's where we've got to fight them. We've got to fight them because the left's insane. Because I said overloading a country with immigrants is only going to cause poverty for everybody. Poverty for everybody. And then when the other countries, the countries who were able to send out aid, they will be impoverished. They won't be able to send out aid. And then all the countries that were getting aid won't have anything. So then you're going to have widespread poverty and starvation. And that is what the left, that is the end goal of the left. They'll say it isn't, but that is it. They want power, and they don't care how they get it. And also, here's another hypocritical point for you. How do you think the left says about how they're for the indigenous peoples? Ha! I mean, look how they treat the American Indian. We're going to get to that. We are going to get to that. They treat them a socialist system, they give them free money and treat them like third-class citizens, and just their lives are destroyed. They don't let the Indians rise in society, and that is the left. The left believes in permanent poverty for people, and we won't stand for it. And so indigenous peoples, yes, I do believe indigenous peoples should have some rights. They should. China for the Chinese, Africa for the Africans, Europe for the Europeans. They should have some indigenous people's rights. I said America is immigrants, so there's not necessarily any one indigenous people. I mean, except for we'll count the American Indians. American Indians get credit for being an indigenous people, and we need to treat them better. So, the left is not for indigenous people when it comes to Europe. And Europe, the European countries, Europeans are indigenous. So there. Like I said, I admit that America, we'll say the American Indians are the indigenous people of America, and we need to be fair with them. But it's also reasonable that indigenous people should have their lives, cultures, and societies preserved. So, just one more hypocritical mark for the left. Hypocritical left. So anyway, so that, I believe, is the mainstream conservative position on immigration. Legal as much as can be fairly done without overloading the country and without causing the quality of life for the migrants to go down to the dirt, which the left has done, because like I said, there's not enough facilities to take care of everybody, so they suffer and die, and it's all the left's fault. Shame on the left. Alrighty. Conservatives got to step up and stop the left from harming people, citizen and immigrant alike. Alright, thanks for watching. Let freedom ring.